Chelsea here. I am just reeling from this week of launch activities, and now the news is out there that my advocacy mission is now going to become the country's advocacy mission as we bring more and more people who care about social issues and about creating change into the fold. So one of the things that I learned very, very early on, and a lot of people ask me about this, is, people will say, like, what does it take to start an initiative and to just get it going? And the truth of the matter is that it really just takes caring about something. You have to have that innate desire, the will, the passion to take on any major issue that needs reform or change, whether it's in your family, your organization, whether it's in your own community, or globally, whether we just need to create a change in a bigger social stratosphere. You just need to care. It is enough to just care. What happens after that is you're gonna find out that caring is gonna be the spark that lights the flame, but it's that grit and the will and the passion that you have for whatever issue it is you care about that's going to actually propel you to action, that's going to get you out from behind your computer, from out of your office, out of the four walls of your home, and it's going to get you into the community creating change. So so many people ask me, and I think that this is just a result of our world being so guided by social media and digital connections right now, that we can create posts online, we can advocate for anything just by the click of a button, but creating awareness is the first step. When we actually get to the point where we get into this cycle of, okay, I'm pushing, I'm promoting, I'm creating awareness, I'm talking, people are hearing me, I'm finally getting over this fear. We all have this fear to just come out with it and be advocates and say what we mean and say what we believe. And that in and of itself is a challenge for a lot of people. But then we get to a point where that's not enough, where the awareness creating is having an impact because people are asking questions, they're DMing you, they're calling you, they might even be trying to pick a fight with you and you really just don't know how to respond, or you're practicing responding in a way that's both empathetic and fact-based. But beyond that, knowing that it is a mountain climb to create cultural change, that is often where people stop. And so my call to action for all of you today is to think about what that might look like for you, to step out behind the screens and to actually pick up the phone and make a call to a legislator, or to sign up to volunteer for a local organization that's focused on the issues that you're caring about, or maybe even to research, how do I start a 501c3 and get going? These are things that actually take effort, and it's often not our natural inclination to want to actually take the step and do those things. When I started the nonprofit that I ran for the last 12 years, Live for Lolly, I had no idea what I was doing. And I will say this over and over and over again to you as we continue on in this journey. I didn't know my a-hole from my elbow. And sometimes there are days that I still don't know what I'm doing. I learned a lot, and that's helped. Knowledge is power. But ultimately, whether your major issue is gun violence or small businesses, or you want to help support small businesses, or you have a problem with something that's going on in the school district, or your child was rejected or bullied in the school, maybe you didn't like how they responded, those are like real things that affect people every single day. So when my brother died from an overdose, and I felt the need to go out and talk about it, one of the things that was not happening was the stigma meeting me where I was at. Instead, I was forced to meet the stigma where it was at, which at the time was, we're not gonna talk about drugs. We don't have a problem here. Heroin? That's something that people on the south side of Chicago do. All the while, hundreds of thousands of people were becoming dependent on opioids, and then their substance use escalated and they were dying from overdoses secretly, silently, and families were bearing this horrific brunt from inside of their own homes, terrified, traumatized every single day, like mine was. And to boot, not even realizing that these things have been going on in Black and brown communities for decades and being virtually ignored. So while white upper middle class people are now starting to realize that there is a problem, a huge problem, and it isn't just in their own families, this is going on across communities where people have brains. So in any community, it took a long time. And that stigma was scary, to have somebody look at you and say, why does this matter so much? It's not gonna change anything. You're not gonna change anything. They could go fly a kite. And that's the type of caring that is going to be required for all of us when we're doing anything out of our comfort zone. To be willing to look at that person in the face and say, I don't agree with you, and then to either tell them that you're going to prove them wrong, or then to go out and actually do it. Those are different things. So caring, when you're starting any of this, caring is enough. I can't say it enough. Caring matters. Right now, I think we're having some sort of like a lack of caring epidemic, or so it seems, or the disconnection and the inability to communicate effectively with each other because we're not listening is creating this polarization where we don't think people care, but people care. So how do we get out from our fears, our stuff, to actually put that care into action? Those are the things that I think a lot of activists need help with as they're trying to get going. So what do you care about? What are those things that are just keeping you up at night? That's the stuff that you want to start journaling about, start taking notes on, free form. What is it about this that is bothering you, or that needs to change? Or what is the world that you want to improve for your child or for future generations? Those things are where you start. So start dreaming. Use that pit in your belly to care. And if you need guidance as you're dreaming up and caring, I'm happy to weigh in. Please feel free to DM me. I may not be able to respond to all of you, but I'll certainly share in my stories and be able to respond to some of you. Caring matters. Let's go.